Score as you go. As an instructor or administrator of a site where you're interested in assessing another measure that might be much more specific to your content and things that you might be looking for at any point in time within a unit or within a week, you can set up a very individual measure and have a visual way of scoring and looking at that week as you're reading your notes. And so this helps to streamline the work involved in evaluating and assessing. And then of course it does get recorded. So first we have to set it up, otherwise it will not show. The default is that there is no score to as we go, and you need to set it up when you're potentially setting up your course and or along the way. You can set up one measure for the entire course, or you can set it up each week. Typically, I would say the latter is much more useful because we're often looking at different weeks, individual things that people might be concentrating on that we might assess on, independent of all those other measures that we are discussing and negotiating with our students in terms of what the expectations, let's say, of a course might be. Thus, let me show you one that is already set up. If I click on the cog here in week 1 constructivism and do score as you go, there's already one that is set up here. There's assessment rubric. It is a rating out of 4, and we've called it theory. So that week I am looking for theory, whatever that means in that particular course. It can be even more specific. As you can see, you can choose to have that one measure for all forums, for selected forums. So if you have group discussions where you have 3 teams for a specific week, you may want to set it up that way and just click all 3. And or you may just want to set it up, I'm going to unclick that just for that forum. You can delete this, but be careful not to delete if you've already done some scoring, because then you will lose it. So this is very good if you've set it up incorrectly, but not great if you've already started your scoring. Now, let's go to another site, and I'm going to press the cog for this one and do score as you go. And here we might be looking for one called concepts. You know, whatever concepts, and that's what we're looking for this week, and the students know this too, and we might again rate it out of 4 or 5 or whatever your rubric is, and we will save it, and it's been saved. And then once again it just asks you, we get that same screen, which forums do you want to apply this to. I'm going to just use it for that forum and save. So again, this allows us to begin to, more in a qualitative way, take a look at a scaffold or assessment piece that we're looking at. And I'm going to actually just hide the forum tools again, go to the resources we find, and I'm really here with 3 small notes. I'm going to click on one and we can read it. So now we have to initiate the score as you go because it's not there necessarily. So I'm going to show the score as you go tools. Because you've set it up, this is available to you. And we can hide it again if we don't want to see that column. And on the right side we want the actual tools that we can score. So here I'm reading this note, and as you can see it's about concepts. There are no scores here. On the right side my rubric is available. And now as I read it, I score it based on my rubric, let's say is out of 4. So maybe I give this a 4 and record. I get a 4-star rating. I click on the next one and I can score it out of another number. And we always need to press record. As we move ahead, we continue to score. Not all notes are relevant for scoring. Some are, some aren't. We can also come back to a note and change it if we change our mind later in the course. Okay? We can again hide any one of these sides. If we don't want to score anymore, keep the visual or remove the visual. Very quickly, under engagement, you will see this under your selected measures that we have the concepts, and we can click on that and show it in our table.